I don't want to, well, you won't break that, I would. You can sit. I don't know. That's all right.
Okay, I'll sit. Hi.
On the table, I'm saying. I'm just standing.
You're standing the whole time?
Yeah.
How are I am sitting on the table?
That's what I'm saying. Just standing on the table. All right, well, thank you, Eliza, for coming. It's great to have you.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah.
Go Patriots!
We're in Boston. Come on.
That's right. Yeah, and you're from Watertown originally?
Watertown,
Yeah.
represent. That's right. Who here is from Boston, the Boston area, or Mass? Woo! Some of you had to like think about it. What's going on here?
So just to let everyone know, we'll do the Q&A for a little bit, after which we're going to talk about some of Eliza's very noble causes, a couple of charities, and we'll get into that in just a little. But first, I wanted to talk about some other stuff, other fun stuff. Your acting, the roles you've played, characters you've portrayed. Of course, all of us know you as, come on.
Faith.
Okay, Faith. And, good, yes, okay, warming up. Faith, a great character. A woman with whom I work, big fan of Buffy. I'm a big fan as well. We've talked about the series on occasion, and we both agree season 3 is by far the best.
Yes.
With no,
I like season.
oh yeah, no small part to your presence in the character of Faith, who wasn't just a cut and dry, good or bad person. A lot of interesting, gray area that developed over the course of the, well, actually the course of a few seasons on Buffy and Angel. I've read that you enjoyed that character because of that fact that it wasn't just a simple good girl or a bad girl. She was ambiguous and she was torn. And I don't know if you want to just talk about that and a little bit, give us your thoughts on the character, and because I think you enjoyed playing the character from what I've read.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
I did. I mean, yeah, she had quite a journey through Buffy and then into Angel, and I was originally only supposed to come in for 3 episodes and just be like this badass slayer from Boston, and then people really identified with the character, and I guess kind of saw something that, I mean, I was 17 at the time. I had just graduated high school. I was supposed to go to Suffolk University where my mother taught until last year. She retired here in Boston, and then the character really resonated with people. So 3 episodes turned into 7, turned into like, let's make her really bad and scary and make her do awful things, and then redeem her and see what that looks like. And I mean, Joss probably had it much more thought out than that, but I loved that she did some awful, awful things, like I'm sure some of us in this room have done, and yet you're not defined by the mistakes that you make or the things that you've done, and you can walk through them, and you can make like the episodes, amends and consequences, and there are certainly consequences, and you should try not to continue doing them, like killing people. But then there was just a lot of room for that character. It wasn't all black and white. She was, tortured, but then she, in the end, was back with the Scooby Gang.
I have to ask, I'm a big fan of both Marvel characters and Marvel comics since I was a kid, and I'm really happy with what they were doing with the films. But with the recent series, the Shield series, when I watched, I've been watching it, and but I wasn't familiar really with any of the actors overall, and there's a young gal on the show who plays pretty much the lead, and very lovely. And I'm looking at her, I'm saying, geez, she reminds me of Eliza Dushku. I said, it's like, and then someone commented, I think maybe like Joss Whedon likes that look. I said, yeah, because she could have been your younger sister. And I said, well, maybe a not so pretty younger sister.
Should be a comment on that, my friend. Should you dig yourself in there?
I'm not worried about digging or anything. No, because it was neat, because I said, that's interesting, because I knew that it wasn't you, and I said, no, it can't be, but God, there were a few scenes I said, it looks just like, do you know the character?
I know of her, yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of neat, so I don't know if that was ever brought up before.
Do you guys have questions that you want to ask? Sorry, not to cut you off, but we've only got 30 minutes for Q&A, and I wonder if these guys have questions, or if you have other specific questions.
No,
I pontificate about a lot of things.
I've got a lot about your charities, but
great.
which I didn't know we were going to combine it with, so that works out.
Yeah.
But let's get some fan questions first, because we don't have too much time. Yeah. All right, so.
And if
let's
we
see.
don't, then we can go back to pontificating.
Stay back there, thanks.
Hi,
In,
my name's
yep.
Bob Wild.
Hi, Bob.
I'm a big fan of watching Dollhouse, and you basically play a different character every week. How do you kind of prepare yourself for that type of, being different every time, not just play the same character?
Well, I have lots of different characters in my head all the time. It wasn't that much of a stretch in that way, but I would say that, when Joss and I first had lunch, and I said, I just kind of want to do like a really great badass character, and but I don't want to like wear the same wardrobe every week. I want to like do something different every week, and so he's thinking about it. It was one thing to think about it, and then actually be there and have him, have me do, 20 characters in one episode. It would have, I would have loved to have a little bit more time maybe with each character to really get into it, but I'm not complaining in the slightest because I loved it, and I loved the kind of craziness that came through it, and I felt nice and good and multiple every day on set. It's what I asked for. So.
Yep, hand right over there.
Hi, my name's Neil.
Hi.
Hi. First of all, where did 5 by 5 come from? And it was space supposed to be by, or did Joss say just go with it, do what you want?
Who wants to answer that? Because I've answered before, and fans will be like, "That's not true. It needs this." Anyone want to take a stab at 5 by 5? No, no one. I mean, when I asked him, he kept it very simple. He was like, "It means you're good. You're what's that?
You're square.
You're square. Yeah, you're."
Military.
What is it? It was a military. Yes. Yes. I don't think he knew that it would be so dissected, but it means we're all good, bro. We're cool. You know what I'm saying? Just leave it at that. Sometimes simple's nice. It's 5 by 5.
I have another question for you.
Yeah.
Have you been approached, I don't know if you can talk about this, but as far as Marvel productions, it's doing so well, film and television properties. Have you been approached in any way regarding role in any of the Marvel stuff?
No, I'm doing the voiceover for She-Hulk.
Oh, right, the
Hulk
animation,
and
yes.
Agents of Smash,
Yeah.
which is kind of fun. It's kind of definitely, it's definitely for a younger
Yeah.
audience. I have a 4-year-old nephew who loves it. He's like, my aunt is She-Hulk. And he was like, it's good that they have a girl as a Hulk, because there are some things girls do that boys can't do. That's right, She-Hulk.
But otherwise, nothing live action, I was wondering. No, not yet. Not yet?
You'll be the first to know. I'll call you, my friend.
Thanks, nice. 5 by 5.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, right? Calling us looking fake.
Okay, all right, right back there, yes, the glove.
I know that you've done a lot of voiceover work recently. She-Hulk and Catwoman and Ruby Malone. I was wondering how that acting experience compares with like television and film. Are there any unique challenges?
You can show up in your pajamas, which is really nice.
It's not a challenge.
The challenge I think is that you definitely it's bigger. It's almost more stage-like than on TV or in film. You're sort of trying to react and be more natural and smaller because your face ends up so big. But that definitely, like, I've noticed where I think I'm being big in the room, but maybe I'm just moving around a lot, and then that doesn't get translated. So I've had awesome people that I've done voiceover with, Catwoman, Bryan Cranston, all these awesome people. And on Hulk as well, Fred and Clancy, and going in there and being around the serious pros, like the vets that just are so amazing at it. Like Fred always takes his shoes off and just like gets seriously hulky and dope. So I've learned from them that you do have to kind of add another layer of awesome.
Clancy Brown, is it?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great voice. Who does he portray?
He's Red.
Oh yeah? Oh,
Yeah.
nice. He's got the...
I'm in
deep-
between Clancy and Fred. It's
Yeah, oh,
amazing.
jeez.
Yeah.
That's neat, yeah. All right. Oh, yes, back
And,
there.
and
Oh, sorry.
Clancy plays Words with Friends or some new word game throughout the entire recording, and Fred always has crazy and ugly socks, like different socks, like crazy
When
socks.
he takes his shoes off.
There you go.
So, yep, back there.
Hi, man.
Hi.
I have a question for you.
We had a fun time last night,
We
didn't
did.
we?
Very good.
You guys missed it at the meet and greet. We like all sat in a circle. We had like a sharing, like ghost hunting prayer circle. It was dope. Is the ghost hunter here today? No, she's not.
Josh, she is, but
Hi, Mom.
Josh walked in that Much Ado About Nothing. I know there was rumor that you might be doing more Shakespearean stuff in the future. Would that be something you'd be interested
Who's doing that? Well, I did a movie that I finished in New York a couple weeks ago, and in the movie I play a New York stage actress, and so I did play Titania for a few scenes in the movie, and I did have to learn some Shakespeare, and that was awkward. 'Cause I learned Shakespeare to my dog, Max Factor, actually. That was my trick. My friend helped me, and I don't know, I just couldn't make the words make sense, but to my dog that I just love, I was like, and apricots and dewberries, and I was like, just doing that.
What scene?
Yeah, that one. They say
fairies.
it's called apricots.
Yeah.
I swear. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah.
It's cock, you know?
Just right there.
Hi.
So when we talked earlier, you mentioned that things were kind of on the cheap in the Buffy.
On the
setup.
what?
On the
The
cheap
cheap.
side, backstage with the Buffy.
You're taking me out of context, sir.
You mean the budget?
No, and that was Dollhouse. You wore the Matrix outfit yesterday, and you had this awesome black leather coat, and I said that I had that coat made on Dollhouse as well, and so you had the photo of me in the long coat, and you asked if I could keep it, and I was like, no, they're pretty cheap, but that was like a $5,000 coat, so I wouldn't say cheap so much as, but go
But
ahead.
not on the so it's not on the cheap. So
Liza says Buffy the producers were cheap. And
that road, but yeah. And I'm across the river from Rotterdam.
Oh,
Just-
okay,
yeah,
neighbor.
I can walk. So the production was how you feel with the production of the time with the Buffy going through the series. Episode gets better than the next series. It was really getting that big. As we feel like.
Well, I think they give the shows more money the better they do. The more successful a show is, they give them more money. But it's pretty common that they don't let the actors keep their wardrobe. And it's a little frustrating because there have been times where you almost want to buy something because it's really great, and then they're like, oh no, you know how it is. We're required to take all these awesome clothes and put them in a giant warehouse somewhere and let them sit there for life. So, wah wah.
They sell them. They sell them.
Sometimes they'll sell them for their own. I guess they buy them. I should shut up. It's not my shit. Stop. Sorry. Whatever. How much time do we have? So we have 30 more minutes. Oh, okay. Do you guys want maybe a couple more questions? Yeah, I'll give quick answers.
Okay.
I can talk.
So someone, yeah, in back, thanks.
US Weekly does a 25 things to know about a celebrity every week.
Yep.
Fun facts.
Yeah,
Are there
I did
facts
one.
that, like 5, because short, facts that you'd like to tell your fans that nobody else knows?
I mean, I did one of those, so it is out there. The 25 things that nobody did know. Are there a new five that I can think of? Oh my God, it's always so hard on the spot. I won't have to think about it, and then think about if I
It's like
actually
your
want to
favorite
share those
color or
facts
something?
about myself instead of just blurting them out, and then being like, damn, I really should have taken a few minutes. So I'll think about that. But I'm a pretty open book. I kind of say what I'm thinking and feeling, as long as I'm not, hurting
Favorite
someone.
color?
My favorite color? It changes. I'm just way too ADHD for my favorite color.
I think someone.
I like a lot of colors.
Yes, sir.
And I apologize, I'm late, so it's already been asked. I read in the Globe, was it Thursday night, you actually won an award for your charitable side? Or?
Friday night, yes. We had the New England American Camp Association, the American Camp Association, the New England branch. They're the group that accredits all the camps all over New England, so make sure they're running properly. And they chose me as their 2013 camp champion. Which is awesome because I work with an organization, United South End Settlements. My father, Phil, grew up in the South End. He was an Albanian immigrant. His parents came here from Albania. They didn't have a lot of money. And he went to this camp, Camp Hale, and a lot of you took pictures yesterday. I have the red one too, and I'm going to auction it off today. I'm going to do it. It still has my sweat in it. So Camp Hale has been a boys' camp for 112 years. It started in 1900, and my father and his 3 brothers went. My 3 brothers went, and I could only go up on visiting day and see the awesome things they were doing. They were canoeing. It's on beautiful Squam Lake, and they're singing all the cool camp songs, and just camp's an amazing place, I think, for kids. I mean, when I'm supposed to go back again. So I couldn't go as a girl, and a couple years ago I thought, why don't we try to start a girls program at camp so the girls get to go and do all these great things and reap the same benefits as of the boys. So this last August we raised the money and we had our first girls program championed by myself and my family, and I went up and was a counselor, and my 10-year-old niece was a camper, and I got to see firsthand, beyond those things being fun, like you have kids that really come to have to build their self-esteem and learn how to work on teams and face their fears. I mean, I think camp is a fundamental thing that's really important, especially for kids from urban neighborhoods where there were girls that had never even been in the water and were terrified to put their foot in the water, not to mention jump in the water. And after 10 days at this camp, you had these little girls that were just bomb diving off docks and just communicating like they'd been there for a year. Just the difference was unbelievable. So we the camp was a smash hit, and we want to do a second year. We raised over $10,000 at this convention yesterday for camp. We need about 20 for the second program to run again next year, and all the girls want to return. We want to bring in more girls. So with you guys' help, thank you yesterday and today. Give yourselves a round of applause. We can do it again. And yes, they gave me an award on Friday night at Fenway, which was awesome.
Well, the ripeness factor should bring in extra money.
Oh yes, my ripeness.
So do you want?
Should we do something? Who wants to? Let's start the bit on this ripe Camp Hale shirt, shall we? I mean, I smell good. I'm not trying to.
Did you wear it at the function last night? Like a meet and greet?
I wore it all day yesterday.
Oh, did you? Okay.
All day. It's really, really good, and it has my perfume on there. Yeah. So would somebody want to buy this Camp Hale shirt?
Right.
And it's female empowerment. It's everything that my characters represent. It's feminism.
Yeah,
it's
the symbol on the back.
Are you
The coat of arms.
Oh, I'm totally gonna sign it. I'll kiss it. I snuggled with it last night. I rolled up the sleeves. You can unroll them if you like.
Some skill.
So what do we say? Can we start at like $50?
What do you think? It's a very good cause.
It's an awesome
It
shirt.
really is.
Come on.
We're over halfway to the goal.
Yay!
Right.
50?
60.
60. I saw a hand.
Sweet. $100.
Oh, roll me over, Kevin. That's Kevin, right?
That's wonderful.
Hey, boo. He was Kevin. He's the best.
Come on.
Get to know him.
Red for ripeness. Let's do it.
$100. That's awesome. I mean, you can only smell me once.
The other charity, I think you were involved in Uganda?
Thrive Hulu,
Yes,
yes.
Thrive
You guys know
Hulu.
about Thrive?
Yeah.
If you've donated to the Crowd Rise campaign or any Crowd Rise campaigns in the past, that's my mother's nonprofit, and I'm one of the board members. It's a trauma healing and rehabilitation center for former child soldiers in northern Uganda, and we, over the last 5 years, started an organization. We started out in a rented building when we did the Crowd Rise campaigns. My first one was my 30-30-30 birthday campaign, where we raised $30,000 on December 30th for my 30th birthday, and we literally bought a plot of land in Bulu. And then the next time we did the campaign, we were able to buy the building and construct the building, put a fence around it so people feel safe there. And then last year we supplied electricity, and we didn't just supply electricity for our building alone. We were able to put in units and generators that also supplied electricity for multiple other homes and businesses around there, just for $10,000. So that's something that's really close to my heart. And then my stepfather also worked with my mom to build the organization, and he passed away on Halloween. And so this year's fundraiser is dedicated to my stepdad, Jim Coleman, who is like my father. So you guys can donate any other time. I know today you maybe spent all your money, but if you go home, you can see me tweeting about it. And all of our money goes right to the people on the ground, and we want to keep that going and helping out too.
It's very noble. Thank you.
Just a quick question. You're an incredible actress, very versatile. Have you been approached, or would you ever consider doing Dances with the Stars since Rick Fox is on it?
Hell to the no. I am more of a freestyler, and I have stage fright. I just don't know if I do know that I would not like that. I think it's great, and I kind of coerced Rick into doing it. I got him watching the show. I was like, you should do it. All those athletes, they do great. So I'm good at hyping up other people, but I don't think you'll see me.
But you're so versatile, and you got a great fan base. You would definitely go to the finals. You definitely would.
Y'all never even really see me dance. You've only seen me as Dance's Faith, where I'm like killing people. You've
seen me do cheerleading.
You see me do cheerleading. You know how long? I was like the idiot that they had to do special extra Eliza cheer. My biggest problem was at the time, because I was like still very faithy, they were like, you need to do the cheer face. So you just smile. Because I was doing all my cheers like I was going to beat someone up. I was not that adept when I started.
So going back to that question, are you happy that you weren't part of Once More with Feeling on Buffy?
I mean, I loved that episode. That was one of the best. I mean, I would have loved to have been a part of it. And also with that, you can do multiple takes. I mean, it's one thing to do things live, and that just makes me want to like be sick. Like live stuff. Another reason why it's Shakespeare and stage acting is
I know
really scary.
Allison Hannigan, she has virtually no singing part in that because she was so petrified of her voice. So.
It's scary, yeah. I mean, since I was 9 years old, I could always ignore like a giant camera and 10 dudes staring at me. That doesn't sound like that. But something about a live audience. I mean, even my first Q&As when I would come to conventions, I used to be really nervous and sweating profusely under the table. So, no, it's fine.
Can I ask you a question? When you said you were 17, I recall reading that when you started Buffy. Did the shooting hours, because you were a minor, was there anything
Yeah, I had to
regarding
get emancipated.
Okay,
I had to get emancipated here in Boston, and they don't really emancipate in Boston. They're like, "Oh, you divorced your parents?" I'm like, no, I had already graduated high school. I'm at the end of the year for a birthday, so I'm December 30.
Right.
So I was always the youngest in my class. I had made the cutoff, but I was going to go to college, and they did need me to work vampire hours, which was all through the night, and minors aren't supposed to work through the night. So we had to go down to the courthouse here in Boston, and they were like, they don't emancipate in Boston typically, and I mean, this is not even a made-up story. Literally, they're like, it depends on the judge that you get, and otherwise you can't do the show because they wouldn't hire me as a minor. So we went to the courthouse, and there was this woman judge. Oh my gosh, I know her name, but I'm drawing a blank right now. But we sort of went in and gave the case, and I remember the lawyer being like, Miss Eliza Dushku, she wants to be on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and the judge was like, she was a tough Boston broad too. Like she seemed like something, like big, just fucking tough broad. So we give her the whole story, and the lawyers were like, okay, and she goes, can she approach the bench, please? So I come up, and she goes, I'm sorry, are you talking about the Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Like on the WB, or yeah, and she's like, yeah, I call quarterly to watch that show. I love it. If you send me an autographed photo of some of the cast, I'll sign your friggin' order. That's really neat. I guess Ruth Bader Ginsburg also was a massive Buffy fan. So.
Did you send her the photo?
Of course.
Nice. All right.
Woman of my word.
Yes.
I have a quick question. How much of the stage fighting did you do? Did you have any stunt doubles come in all the time, or did you do a lot of it yourself?
Oh, I had awesome stunt doubles and a few of them, but I liked to do as much as I could because I'm very physical, and I grew up with 3 brothers, and I loved that kind of fighting stuff. So I remember I showed up, and anything they would let me do, I would try to do. They have certain liabilities where they can't let actors jump off buildings and stuff, which is annoying, but there's some actors that love to throw off buildings. But they had awesome, really highly skilled martial artists and different people that they had coming across. And I heard a rumor that when I showed up and wanted to do a lot of my own fighting, that Miss Geller also sort of stepped up and wanted to do more of her fighting. So all of a sudden we had these like 5-page fight scenes between Buffy and Faith because we were both like showing up like, yeah. Throwing each other down. Handcuffed together, fighting.
Let's see, another question? I think we have time for another. Yes, Fred?
I know a lot of people when they're younger and they work on stuff for a long time together, they stay in contact. It's more like a family thing than just acting. Is it like that with the Buffy cast?
I mean, I know them all and see them and we run into each other, we hug it out, and I mean, it's hard with our jobs. You end up, leaving town for months at a time, so, I mean, I see them sometimes, and I hate to say it, but I almost see them as much as I see sort of other friends in LA, because as actors, you're kind of always on the move, but, yeah, there's a lot of love still there, for sure. And every time I see David, I mean, he'll forever just be a lovable idiot, and we make fun of each other insanely. I remember my first movie when I was 9 years old. I did the movie, and you work with people for 3 months, and so they felt like they were my family. And I went around at the end of the movie with like a little notebook and was trying to get everybody's name and phone number and address, and they were all laughing at me and going, "See you later, kid. We'll probably never see you again in reality." And I was like, crying. I was so heartbroken. I thought they were my friends.
Do you want phones?
I do. I mean, I have. I'm not. If you quiz me on it, I'd probably fail, but I'm psyched for him.
Well, yeah, he's great on that show.
Yeah, he is, and that's more him. I think he was always trying to bring in that goofy side of himself.
Some of the best
He would
things
come on
was when
set
they
and like
always did
flash
the-
everyone in the crew on
when he
Buffy.
actually, when he was on Angel and they had those episodes where he was
Silly.
kind of silly, those
He
were like
loves
some of the
that,
best
yeah.
episodes.
Time for one quick one.
Nick Brendan, he's been coming to the Rhode Island Comic Con a lot, and last year someone asked him who was most enjoyable or fun to kiss, and he actually said you. So I was going to ask you the same kind of question.
Sorry.
No problem.
Pretty good.
Out of like everybody that you've had in your scene like that with, who did you find most in that situation?
I mean, my lips only love one guy to kiss these days. I will say that my first experience kissing David was a little awkward because, I mean, look, I showed up and it was a scene where I fight him and jump on him and I'm gonna stake him, and then he tells me he'll be bad with me, and then we make out. And so, but he turns vampire face on me, and so he had the vampire teeth in the scene, and I was like, okay, and we rehearsed it, and then when we were actually doing it, I grabbed him and I went to kiss him, and we pulled back, and they were like, cut. I was like, can we take his vampire teeth out, please, for the next take? Because his teeth just like pierced my tongue, and my tongue was bleeding. And the director was like, "Oh, Eliza using tongue, huh?" What? A method. Like, that's what I mean too. And David was like, "It's cool. Shut up. Shut up." So that was the first time I realized that I guess not everything's supposed to be that real.
Well, thank you, Eliza, very much.
Great to be home, and I hope I see you guys at another convention here. This has been awesome, and thanks so much for your help with that, with Camp Hale. And everyone that is here this weekend, if you've come and got a picture, anything, that money's going to Camp Hale Girls, so you guys rock. Thank you.
Thank you.